Anxiety, just because you can't see it, doesn't mean it's not a real thing. I mean, there are plenty of people who walk around and they live their entire life with anxiety and they don't tell anyone. And that's a recipe for some really bad habits. I mean, you take a kid who is struggling and you tell him that his thoughts and feelings aren't valid, or they should just toughen up, or they should just not talk about it. And what's that kid gonna do? He's gonna look to external sources to maybe numb that, or sort of try to get engaged with things that maybe aren't as healthy because at least they distract them from what they're feeling. I mean, if you want your kids to be healthy, if you want them to have meaningful, joyous lives, then telling them what they feel is not valid is a way to completely derail that life. My freshman year, I had a very challenging time, my first semester. I know that's when I first started feeling honestly anxious, because everyone feels anxious from time to time, you know, in small ways about small things, but it was the first time I felt a prolonged sensation of something's not right, of there's a worry I have that won't go away no matter what I do or who I talk to.
Jack is a very social person. He is a very talkative person. He was, when he was younger, he was athletic, he was involved in a lot of things, and that slowly started to change. And if I reflect back on it now, there were signs that had I known that this was what I was going to be looking for, I would have seen it, right? Jack is not a unique case. I think it's much more prevalent than we ever knew or thought. And I think the world has changed so much in the last 15, 20 years, and the pressures on high school kids particularly, they've grown exponentially.
It got to a point where, I was physically affected. My friends would ask me, like, you look sick, like, are you okay? Because I was pale, I was sweating. Like, I would be sitting in class completely unable to focus, just not even in the classroom. And I kind of thought, if I just powered through, if I just kept going and kept focusing on other things the best I could, that at some point I would just relax and things that of course never happened, as it never really does.
We had access to care, we had resources, and it was still incredibly difficult, incredibly difficult. So I think about people who don't have those resources and don't have the support system that we had. And it just breaks my heart to think these kids have nowhere to go and nowhere to turn. And I think the tools that we can give them through the counseling services are tools that will stick with them for the rest of their lives, right? Jack continues to use his tools today, and he will continue to use them. So being able to teach parents, being able to teach students how to recognize and deal with these symptoms earlier on, I think it's going to solve problems that'll come up later in life. So I think it's incredibly important that we focus on this. It's an amazing initiative.